Hello and welcome to the Wealth Wednesday show. We believe you are doing well and that you are in good health. As always, you're super excited to virtually see you, and we believe you're going to benefit a lot from today's episode. As always, we want to thank everyone that has subscribed to our YouTube channel and to everyone that has been following and writing us comments and checking us out on our social media pages. We want to sincerely thank you and appreciate you. Today we have an amazing guest in the house. Her name is Dr. Abeer Naajem. She's a personal trainer and a leadership development coach. She has around 20 years of experience in leadership, entrepreneurship, and personal development. I mean, this is someone we are going to learn a lot from. And as we had already mentioned earlier, the topic for today will be laws of leadership for business growth. We've seen businesses that have grown drastically, even in the midst of the pandemic. But at the same time, we've seen other businesses going down. And you have to sometimes you ask yourself, what is the theory behind it? Is the leadership correct or not? So today we are going to talk about leadership. How can you be a good leader? And in your business, how can you steer forward leadership so that you can experience massive growth? So without taking much time, allow me to give our guest, Dr. Abeer, the platform to introduce herself. Dr. Abeer, thank you so much for coming in. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
First of all, thank you very much, Ella, for giving me this opportunity and inviting me to your show. This is something I'm privileged and honored to be in. I will introduce myself briefly for people. My name is Dr. Abeer Naajem and I am a person who is really passionate about learning and gaining more knowledge and sharing this knowledge with other people. So I have a lot of passion for leadership, entrepreneurship. So I always work around these two concepts in my whole life, either personal or professional. I am a John Maxwell leadership certified coach, trainer, facilitator, and speaker. So most of my mastermind session, my training, my courses that I offer, plus my coaching and mentoring is around getting people grow themselves as person, as an individual, as well as leaders. So this is the main basic of what I do in my life. Being a student, being an early in their career, being in the mid of their career, I always work with around these people, and I do prefer people who are just starting because then you can impact them more than the people who are already in their career. Yet I work with all people, and yeah, let's talk about leadership, my passion for today, and see what we have in our show.
Absolutely, that is profound, and I must commend the work you're doing. I've been following you closely, and I can say you are a true thought leader and you get people to think outside the box. I also saw your certifications and I was like, wow, this is so amazing. You have really
Thank you.
invested in leadership, and I know it's bearing fruits based on how many people are getting impacted by your lessons. So we'll go in right away to today's discussion. Dr. Abeer, what defines business leadership and why is it key to business growth?
Business leadership, if we are going to talk about the person within that business of like either an entrepreneur or an established business, is making sure that I'm going to put it in simple, and then we could talk around it and discuss around it. It's making sure that you have the people buy in to what you are doing within that business. That's in simple words. If the people who are working with you in that business, being it a small business, being it a big company or a big business, and you have the people who are following you as a leader, and that's one of the laws that's really important for the leader. I mean, people who are following you and they are buying into what you are doing within that business, that will define your business leader, your business success, to be honest, and will define how you are doing your business within the company. Because in simple words, if you as a leader within a business or within the company and you don't have people who are working with you, your business is not going to be successful. Your business will not go anywhere without people. So it all comes back to the people, not to the leader in the first place, and how he or she are influencing these people. It's very important for the growth of the business, because as you go with your business, if you are starting as a small startup and then you are moving to be a small business, and or in a medium business, and or in a big organization or a big business, it impacts how you grow with these people who are working with you within the company, how you are moving your business from being a startup to an established business and placed within the market. So leadership have, if I'm going to put it in a percentage, leadership would have like around 60 to 70% impact on how your business is moving from being a startup to being an established business at the end or in the market.
Wow, amazing. And based on the numbers we see out here for businesses, seriously, leadership matters a lot when it comes to the growth of the business. And you, as you just mentioned, 65 to 67% of leadership impacts the growth of a business. Now,
Sure.
how does leadership make a business successful? How is it done?
It's done on the ground. If we are going to talk about it, we are focusing mostly as leaders to get your business success within the market on the process, and how you influence people and how you get them to understand your vision, see the picture that you are seeing for the future of that business, and then moving with these people on a daily basis on what should be done to get that business success. I mean, the business success, depending on the leader success. If you are a successful leader, and we could talk a little bit about this as we go. If you are a success as a leader and present a positive, successful leader within that business, your business is going to grow with you, with the people that you have within that business. How you influence them, how you impact their life, how you treat them within the organization, how you motivate them to buy in, as I mentioned earlier, within the business idea or within the business vision that you are looking at, how you get people to work beyond their limitation, if I'm going to say, to put to that business, and to have that loyalty within their heart to, I want this business to be successful as much as the leader wanted to be successful. So again, I'm going to say again, it goes back to the people, it goes back to the leader who is leading these people in the first place, regardless what type of the business, because I mean, whatever the company or whatever the business is doing, being a product or being a service, it goes back to the people, it goes back to the leader who is leading the whole show within that business.
Absolutely. I love the fact that you say successful leadership is centered around people. How do you motivate them? How do you impact them? Are they able to buy into what you are giving them, or your mission or your vision? That is super, super deep. And to our audience, feel free to write in the comments section. Let us know, where are you watching this live video from? Share with us a comment. Any question you might be having regarding leadership for business growth, post it in the comments section. So, Dr. Abeer, we are going to go to the question of the day, which is, what are the laws of leadership for business growth?
The laws of leadership for business growth. Okay, let me separate this to two questions, or sub two questions, if I'm going to say. We have what we call the law of leadership in general, which could impact a leader in any organization. And then we could track some of these laws that could go back to the business or to the success of business. According to what I have studied and taught by John Maxwell, we have like 21 law of leadership that the leaders need to make sure that they are either within them or practicing them. So to be able to be a successful leader within any type of business, within any type of organization, within any type of field of the life. So 21 laws of leaders are there for leaders to practice, to teach themselves, and then to be able to move that to the businesses and people who they are within the business to make it a successful business. So if I'm going to mention some of them, of course, I'm not going to mention all of them, but let me give you a few of them that I know personally as Abeer. They are critical for any business within our like workplaces in around the world. I can see the first and most important law is the law of influence, influencing people around you within the organization. There is also the law of process, and I would like to talk a little bit more about this law. We have the law of solid ground. That's very important law for people to see that you are you are kind of a trusted leader that they can follow. We have the law of respect. We have the law of empowerment. We have the law of connection. We have the law of the inner circles, the law of picture, a lot of them. But these are the most important that I can see relate to business success, to be honest.
Amazing, amazing. You know, you mentioned something, the law of influence and the law of being solid on what you said. You know,
Exactly.
for you to lead, there has to be people who are following you and they are
Exactly.
accepting what your mission, your core values are. But
True.
at the same time, it's also important to be solid because you don't want to be a leader who says this today, tomorrow you change, you say a different thing. People will
True.
not be able to trust you. And I believe, having had the privilege to be in various leadership capacities, I noticed that people check out your consistency even in what you say as a leader. So
True.
if
True.
today you say,
Even, Shaila, even if you do something wrong, in one
mhm,
step or one process of what you are doing and you admit it as a leader and then keep the consistency of what you are doing, people will respect
mhm.
that more than you just going around in circles not knowing what you are doing.
Yeah, and most people tend to think like, let me jump around, let me be all over so that people can see I have leadership skills, which has worked against most people because people look at your consistency and how you are solid in your core values, what you believe in. Like right now, when I was, just interacting with you, I was looking out. Dr. Abeer is more of personal development, leadership, entrepreneurship, and she's been consistent in that. So she is a leader in that industry because the values she shares, they are consistent. Now, doctor, you mentioned something to do with one of the laws of leadership is the law of process.
Yes, yes.
Now, I believe we've all seen this in social media. People have introduced hashtags, trust the process. Others have, gone forth to even give us personal stories just to bring out the trust the process cliche. Now, when it comes to leadership, why is this law of process that important?
um, okay, because you just mentioned it, people need to see consistency on what you are doing. Okay, and if
Mhm,
we relate that to the law of process, it's what happened on a daily basis that people really see the leader is doing and following. So the process doesn't, I mean, the law of process or trusting the process to leadership, it's not like over the night I'm going to do this and people need to follow me and people need to do that. People need to see, people need to really understand that developing a process of doing things and keep the consistency of doing these small steps, even if small steps, for people to see that it's going to happen. And either in a long term or in a short term, people will understand that if you follow this step, if you follow the process, then
Mm-hmm.
eventually things will work out, and that leader will lead us to somewhere within this organization or to success. But if we
Mm-hmm.
go like left and right and go in circles and try to try to invent things from scratch all over the place and every day, that's going to put us in a really like awkward situation as the leaders, and will put the business in risk, because you are trying every day something new and people will get confused at the end. It's not logical. It's not logical. So you need to make sure that you encouraging the development like step by step, so people really understand what's really happening and follow these steps. It's not like a sudden change every time. And then you need to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you are treating people with respect, and treating people that as of mature, like they are mature, they understand what you are doing. It's not like a child who you are just telling them to do whatever you want to them and that's it. You need to make sure that you are treating them in that way, and you need to build it in the culture of the organization or the business, so that people understand that we are working with the process, we are moving in a daily basis with small steps and consistent small steps, and making sure that uh, eventually it's not easy, and some people will get poor, some people will get frustrated, but when they see a result at the end of that process, then they will start trusting the process and really understand why you are doing what you are doing. Even though you explain it at the beginning, I'm doing this because one, two, three, but people can't see it until they see the result of the process to be able to trust it. So it goes with practice, it goes with learning and developing and ensuring that you are involving the people in the small steps on a daily basis to allow them to understand how the process at the end should be trusted.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love the fact that you said progress matters. No matter how small it is, make sure you are doing something as a leader, because people want to see, are they making any, is this leader making any progress? And then you mentioned something, respect people. Just because you're a leader, it doesn't mean that you should despise those you are
Yeah,
leading. In fact, I'm one person who believes in the servant leadership kind of thought pattern, whereby as a
yes,
leader, you're literally not a leader, you're more of serving.
servant for
You're more
people.
of serving the people who you are leading, which is a very good thing that you have highlighted. And and this comes to my next thought or question. Most people want to be leaders. There's this joy that comes when you mention, I'm a leader in ABCD. I lead this group of people. I lead ABCD. Now, if someone wants to be a leader, maybe they've watched us, they've seen what we've discussed, and they're like, okay, I think I need to start working on my leadership skills. What should they focus on?
I always believe in that every person can be a leader, because it's within us. You could just work on yourself and make sure that you reach wherever you want as a leader. And the most important thing is to understand that if you would like to be a leader, you need to start building yourself from now. So if you tomorrow want to be a leader, make sure that you start from now, learning and building yourself, building your skill, building your abilities to be a leader, because it's there. All we need to do is just try to really understand ourselves and work from that. What our strengths, what our area that we need to work on, and then build from here to be a leader. There are a lot of skills and capabilities that leaders need to have, but let me mention few of them that could make a difference when you are a leader. Of course, there are a lot. If you're going to mention, there are hundreds of skills and capabilities. We will not be able to mention all of them, but there are a few that are really, really important. The first one is, as you mentioned earlier, consider yourself as a servant for people, not like as above people. When you put yourself in the same level of people and they're understanding them and caring about people and your empathy with people, that's the most important. So it's all about people. That's the first capability or the first skill that leader need to understand, that people are the core. If you don't have them, you are not a leader. full stop. So just focus first on the leaders and work on yourself as a person. Be a trusted person. So be um, accountable of your action, accountable of your words, accountable of your decisions, even if they are wrong. As I said, admit it and tell the people like, okay, I did this, it was wrong. We could start from the again. We could work on it. We could fix it. People will respect you more if you do that, and they will trust you more if you do that. The attitude of dealing with people, again, that's a really important thing, and being honest with other people. That's a lot of effort for being a leader. Working on developing yourself, that's the most important as well. I mean, you can't reach a level to say, okay, now I know everything I need to know about a leader and now I'm a leader. A leader is a daily learning process forever. You keep moving with your learning and adding your increasing your knowledge and adding to yourself and improving yourself and learning new things every day. It's a daily learning process. So you don't reach a level to say, okay, this is what I know now. I know everything I need to know about, for example, being a leader, and then I'm a leader. It's a process, as we said. It's a long learning process. There are a lot of other skills that you need to know, of course, like either kind of a technical to your business that you need to understand, or let's say strategical for your business. All of these skills you need to learn based on where you are with the leading. But these, the one that I mentioned, being servant to people, honesty, trust, the ongoing learning and adding to yourself, and of course understanding what you are doing with the people. I mean, at the first place, the vision that you have and it's clear for people. From my point of view, these are the most five that I think every leader needs to have, plus the others, of course, that he or she need to build in themselves.
Amazing. And this just came in my mind. We've seen a rise in people who call themselves influencers on social
Yeah.
media. You find
Okay.
someone, so long as I can just acquire so many followers, I call myself an influencer. Do you
Yeah.
think we can classify them as leaders, or what are your thoughts about such?
Uh, I'm not going to go deep in that, so I can't offend anyone about this. But I really think an influencer who influence other people's life in a good, positive way. That's what I call an influencer. It's not about the
Mhm,
number. It's not about
mhm,
the people who are following you. It's not about how much you have in like posting or trending on or followers. It's about what do you offer these people? What do you add to their
mhm,
life? How do you improve them? How do you give them, let's say, a positive input to their life? That's what I call a true influencer. Other than that, personally, I don't call them influencers. If they are not really impacting other people in a good way, I don't call them
mhm,
influencer. Regardless of like if they have like a million of followers, it's not counted.
mhm,
It's the impact
mhm,
that you leave. Leadership is all about the impacting other people's life. So if you are really impacting them in a good way, then you are an
mhm.
influencer, you are a leader.
Wow. Doctor, I must say that is a very commendable thought you've brought forward, and I know it will help so many people who are confused that okay, I'm a leader, but there are people who are not leaders actually. They are just they have so many followers and all that. But I like the fact that you said it's the impact that
True,
matters.
true,
How are you
true.
impacting this person who is looking up to you to see what you are doing? Is it
Exactly.
positive impact? Is it negative impact? Then from there you can be able to gauge yourself. Now,
True.
doctor, you mentioned something that I really love as self-development or personal development is key, is a key skill to be a leader. You cannot
True.
say that I've read everything, now I'm at maximum. It's a
Yeah.
continuous process. And this brings about the growth mindset. How can one develop a growth mindset? Because sometimes people tell you, your mindset is not okay. You need to have a growth mindset. So how can one develop it?
Growth mindset is it's let's put it in simple way, is opening yourself and your mind to learning and developing and improving yourself. So you don't lock yourself to, as you said, or as I said earlier, you don't lock your mind or you lock yourself, okay, this is what I need to learn, this is what I reach, and that's it. Always make sure that you open your mind to new information, to new knowledge, to new learning as you go in your life. No matter how old are you, you are learning every day something new. That's what we call a growth mindset. Making sure that every day before I sleep at night, what did I learn new today? What did I add new to myself as a person today? That's what we call it. This is what we call it, like a growth mindset. The continuous learning, the continuous adding to yourself, that grows you as a person. Um, those who just, as we mentioned, those who just say, okay, I know everything about it, and that's it. These are people, I'm sorry to say, but these are people with a closed mindset. I mean, they are blocking themselves from growing, blocking themselves from being a better person or learn something new. As long as you are open to everything around you and learn everything around you, okay, you can't learn everything at the same time, but keep your mind open to whatever happening around you and try, okay, this is an incident happened in front of me or to me or with someone else that I know. How can I learn from that incident? This is a meeting that I attended with other people. Okay, I'm attending because I have to be within certain part of the meeting, but there is like a full hour happening in front of me with other people. What can I learn from these people? Um, Always take any situation that you are in, any even problems and challenges and struggle, take them as a learning experience, and that's what we call a growth mindset. So it's opening your mind always to whatever is going to happen around you, incident, problems, issues, good things and bad things. That's the, let's say, the resource of getting yourself growing as a person every day.
Amazing. And as we're just speaking, Doctor, I just started thinking this pandemic has proven we need a growth mindset. We cannot operate the way we used to operate in 2018. We have to
True.
be open to new things. It has led to most people and businesses having to think outside the box. And we have to be open to learning. I believe those people who have decided to remain in their cocoon, closed
Yeah,
mindset, they are facing a hard time because they think we used to do it like this 10 years ago, I'm not gonna do it again.
exactly.
It even narrows your opportunity. Another thing we've seen with this pandemic, businesses have had to shift, especially to come into the digital space more powerfully than before. And businesses that did not adhere to that, they are definitely not in
Yes,
business, or they are not experiencing the same growth as those that have,
true, true,
chosen to
true,
take advantage of the incident.
true.
So,
As you mentioned, Sheila, I mean, this pandemic is the let's say the huge, perfect example to what we call it a growth mindset. All these businesses, all these organizations who started to think out of the box, as you said, and started to look at all the opportunity out there that we could benefit from during the pandemic, are the one who are still in business, to be honest, and still making money and still making a profit until now. And those who, as you said, we used to do it that way, we can't change, we will not be able to change, or we are afraid to change, or we don't want to change, they are either out of business or they are struggling still because they are close minded to what you they used to do like 10 years ago or 20 years ago. With this pandemic, I mean, the whole world is upside down and everything is changing. Everybody is changing the way of their thinking and the way of their growing with the business or with themselves. So yeah, I think the pandemic explained it all to everyone.
Absolutely, absolutely. And with people like you around who are constantly reminding us on the importance of personal development and being adaptive to situations is something we can not forget to commend you about. Now we are coming almost to the end of our show today, Dr. Abir. What are the laws of awareness? Because I've had a lot of people, we've had people telling you need to be aware of yourself, of the environment, of whatever is going on. So, do we have laws of awareness?
Yes, yes. There is also what we call them, because we just talked about like growth mindset. There is like a 15 laws of growth. And the
Mhm.
first law of these 15 laws is the law of awareness, because it all
Mm,
starts with the person himself or herself. It's the awareness of yourself, self awareness, understanding yourself as a person. Where are your strengths? Where are your weaknesses? Where are your interests? Where are your opportunities? Where are the things that you love that make you passionate about it? What is your purpose in life? So it's all starts with the person himself understanding themselves, and then
mhm,
we move on to the world around us and start like working with whatever we have. If you don't understand yourself, if you don't know who are you and why you are doing whatever you are doing, and love what you are doing, that's the most important,
mhm,
then you will not be able to go to the world and communicate with the world and start working in your business or in your organization or with other peoples around you. Self-awareness is really, I mean, very critical, and the big question that people need to ask themselves: why I'm doing what I'm doing in life, or
mhm,
why I'm having this life. What do I do with my life? And that's the big question to
mhm,
understand yourself. Um, it might take you few hours to discover this and answer that question. It might, some people will take them days, some people will take them months, some people will take them years to really understand themselves and really understand why they are doing whatever they are doing, if they are liking it or not, and if they don't, why they are keep doing it, why they don't start changing it. So it's very
mhm,
important. I always tell people who come and ask me that question, or we talk about the law of growth. This is the most important role. If you practice that law to its
mhm,
maximum, then everything else will be easy for you and everything else will follow in your life. So law of awareness is one of the most important laws, I have to say, even before the laws of leadership. That's the first law ever that people need to understand about themselves. Because sometimes you will be in a situation, Shaila, and you will say
mhm,
something or you will do something
mhm,
that, how did I do that? Or did I say that? You will surprise yourself because you did something that you didn't expect to do, and that's the
mhm,
true self that you don't still know about. So that's why we
yeah.
need to dig deep in ourselves and really understand our beliefs, our values, our um, like view of the whole world before we go out and say that we are a leader and we need to lead other people.
Mhm. Absolutely. Self-awareness is very key. And,
Yeah.
knowing your purpose. Why am I doing this? Why am I here? Why do I want people to follow me or follow the work that I do? Why do I want people to come to my business? Matters a lot, and it contributes largely not just to business growth but also to personal growth, as you mentioned. Dr.
Yeah.
Abir, allow me to um, bring the show to an end. I have so many questions that I would want us to go on and on to talk about this topic, as it's very, very broad. You mentioned there are like some segments that have 50 laws, others 20 laws. So
Yes.
it's a
Yes.
broad, broad topic. And I believe maybe later on we can get to do again another session together.
Definitely. Anytime for you, dear. Anytime. Definitely.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abby. To our audience, thank you very much for being with us until this time. We believe you have learned a lot, especially as a person. Remember, Doctor has said we all are born leaders. It's only that we need to learn the skills. We need to be self-aware and bring out the leader in us. So that is my takeaway, and as well as think think about yourself. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I saying this? Why am I asking people to do this? What are my core values? It's something we need to always have it in the back of our minds. So thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you have subscribed to our YouTube channel. If not yet, we encourage you to press the subscribe button, turn on notification, watch this clip as many times as possible. I would say make it your handbook, because you'll find
Yeah.
yourself in situations. You'll find yourself in situations where you have to bring out the leader in you in such a situation. So this is an episode I would say all of us need to have it, rewatch it as many times as possible, and most of all, follow us on our social accounts: Financial Wellness Center on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as Twitter. Now, Dr. Abeer, if someone wants to contact you or to connect with you to follow the amazing work you are doing, how can they get to you?
I'm available on Instagram and LinkedIn mostly. Dr. underscore Abeer Rasbi. So they can find me easily in Instagram and LinkedIn, where I post most of what I do. And they are more than welcome to contact me there, and we could have like a chat, or we can talk with each other at any time.
Absolutely. And just to add to our audience, she's a very welcoming person. I have interacted with her and she's just amazing. If you have any question regarding leadership, if you have anything to do with entrepreneurship or personal development, this is your go-to person. I can personally vouch for her. And
Thank you.
I
Thank
believe,
you.
yeah, I believe we are going to be impacted as she continues to impact the world. Until then, we hope to see you in our next episode. Remember to share this link out. Leave us your feedback or thought in the comment section, as well as any question you could be having. Until then, see you and goodbye.
Bye.